Klal Yisrael focuses, Binyamin, Eliezer, right now, our people are focused on Rabbi Kiva, David. We zone in on Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva was one of the, in Torah Shabbal Peh, was one of the most important Maisrei HaTorah, one of the most important chains in the link of Torah Shabbal Peh. When Moshe Rabbeinu saw Rabbi Kiva, he said to Hashem, "Why are you giving the Torah through me? Give it to Rabbi Kiva." So Rabbi Kiva is one of the important links in the Messiah of Torah. The Mishnayos, the Gemara that we have, one of the most important Rebbeim, one of the most important teachers in the Torah is Rabbi Kiva. And Klal Yisrael focuses in these weeks leading up to Kabbalah HaTorah, to receiving of the Torah, there's a tremendous focus on Rabbi Kiva. Of course, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the Talmud, the great Tana, and the Talmud of Rabbi Kiva, of course, is going to be a massive focus, Lag Ba'omer, in these weeks. But I want to learn a Gemara about Rabbi Kiva. It could be to speak about. I have thoughts to speak about my own Rebbe. My Rebbe's yahrzeit was this past week, and in thinking about Rabbi Kiva, I think about my own Rebbe. I'll tell the guys an interesting thing. When I moved to Waterbury 26 years ago, so I was zeicha to learn. I was zeicha to learn with three couples that are gerim, three families that are converts. And two of the three, the husband and wife, are in Olam Haba today. And I was zeich at the time to have a chavrusa with them. When I would quote names, when I would quote names, Rabbi Kiva Eger, the Pnei Yeshua, the Chassam Sofer, the names I would learn with them, the names of the Rishonim, of the Achrayim, were not very exciting to them. They loved Torah. They loved ideas of Torah, but it didn't matter so much who said what. Now, there's something to learn from that, because that's part of wisdom, is not hiding behind names. To learn Chachma, to understand Torah, and not to hide behind the name. But there's also something that's lacking, because they're big tzaddikim who said something that tells you, when I hear something for a kiveger, it tells me, Daniel, think about this. This is important. This means something. Don't assume it's a mistake, and I work harder to understand it. Reb Shimon Shkop writes in his introduction that if you don't try to be a student of mine, you won't understand me. If you're just lazy about this, it doesn't make sense, and run away, you're not going to understand me. You have to be a student. So there are times by big tzaddikim. Yeah. There are times by big tzaddikim, the fact that we know they're big tzaddikim makes us like pay heed to their words and think about their words. Now, I would quote to these couples from big tzaddikim. There was nothing magical. The Kiveger says, the Rashba says, it was shrug. Now,
that's what you learned it then, though?
No, you're quoting Divrei Torah. So now,
I don't think it's Kiveger.
No, but you're quoting Divrei Torah. I can't even say back to what names I was quoting. We were learning. Could be at a time we learned Avos and we learned things, but you're quoting names. We hear certain names and we pay heed. We pay attention. I ask myself why those names are magical to me, and there are two main answers why it's magical to me. When I was thinking about this couple of Gerim, I was thinking because my father's magical to me. My father means a lot to me, and my father's relationship to Tzaddikim and Gedolim, to me, my father was magical. And when he would say Rav Adi Yosef, when my father would say Kiveger, he would shake. So through my father, those names are magical, and through my Rebbe. My Rebbe is magical to me. My Rebbe is somebody who represents courage, honesty, truth to me. So then my Rebbe's Rebbe and his Rebbe, my Rebbe's Rebbe was Rav Aaron Kotler. Rav Aaron Kotler's Rebbe was the Alter. The Alter's Rebbe was the Alter of Kelm. The altar of, thank you. So the altar of Kelm's Rebbe was Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. So it's magical to me because my Rebbe's Rebbe. So the Messiah Satira is something that's focused on David these weeks. I could talk about my Rebbe, and it could be Kedai. I'm not sure to talk about my Rebbe or to talk about Rabbi Kiva right now. I have two thoughts, David, what to do. My Rebbe's Yartzeit just was, so I could definitely focus on my Rebbe. I think right now to learn, maybe I'll do that in the next coming days, Azriel. Maybe I want to talk about Rabbi Kiva, the great Rabbi Kiva who handed us Torah, to talk about his origin a little. Maybe in the ensuing days, Azriel, I'll talk about my Rebbe as well. Rabbi Kiva was 40, all of us know his origins, his humble origins. He was 40 years old. He was a serious Amoritz. He didn't know anything. He not just was a serious Amoritz, he didn't like Talmidei Chachamim. He said that he wanted to bite Talmidei Chachamim. He was 40 years old and he didn't like Talmidei Chachamim. In the yeshiva, we're learning Psachim. Rabbi Kiva said on himself that he would say, "Bring me a Talmud Chacham. I want to bite him like a chamor, but not the bite of a dog. A dog bites, okay. I wanted the bite of a donkey that crushes." And he wanted to crush Talmidei Chacham. That's who Rabbi Kiva was. And Kalba Savua was one of the wealthy people of Yerushalayim, one of the three wealthy people in Yerushalayim. Kalba Savua, his name was a hungry dog, because people would come hungry like a dog and they would leave satisfied. So his name was Satisfied Dog. Kalba Savua. He was very, very generous, Kalba Savua, Rabbi Kiva's father-in-law. And his daughter married Rabbi Kiva. His daughter, this girl who grew up tremendous wealth, and she marries Rabbi Kiva Iskadshi Leibarte de Kalba Savua. He did Kiddushin to the daughter of Kalba Savua. Shama, Kalba Savua. Kalba Savua, the satiated dog, this generous Yid, whose very name spoke about his generosity. He heard that Rabbi Kiva married his daughter. Adra Hana Mikol Nechsei. He asked her from every penny of his. Kalba Savua said she can't have one penny. We're reading a Gemara Nedarim Daf Nun. Kalba Savua, the satisfied dog. Why was his name Satisfied Dog? Ben, see this rich guy? They came hungry like a dog, they left satisfied. Why would you call him Ezra? This Yid's name, this Saddik's name was Kalba Savua, the satisfied dog. It's funny in yeshiva, if you call somebody a dog, I think it's a compliment. What do we mean when we say he's a dog? We don't mean, what do we mean? For the way he's tough. He's a dog. It's like such a compliment. It's funny that Kalba Savua is called the satisfied dog. It doesn't sound so complimentary. Today when we call somebody a dog, we mean he like goes after it hard. He's a dog on the court. It's like a compliment. David is a dog on the paddleball court. He's on the pickleball court. You're a dog, David. You go after it. It's a mamish to go after. It's a dog. Kalba Savua was called a satisfied dog, Chaim. He was called that because people would come hungry like a kelev, like crazy, and they would leave satisfied. Why did he get the name? It's such a crazy name to call somebody. Here, the satisfied dog is here. It's funny, it's so weird. Kalba Savua, satisfied. He wasn't the satisfied dog. He made somebody else a satisfied dog. Why was he called the satisfied dog? Kalba Savua. Almost like, maybe even like the satisfier of dogs. But it's funny, he's called a satisfied dog. He wasn't the satisfied dog. Who was the satisfied dog? The guy who came to him. Why was he called the satisfied dog? I would call his guests the satisfied dogs. I would say anybody who hung out with Kalish, why did he get the name the satisfied dog?
It can't be Kalba Savua, the satisfier
of dogs.
I don't know.
So nice to be
Could it be?
I don't know if that's what the English means. Kalba savua is a satisfied dog, not the satisfier of dogs.
What kind of tzedakah organization calls the Oooo dogs?
It's a very good question also. It's funny, what a name. It's like really not nice. The satisfier of dogs, or the satisfied dog is here. Who looks at people like that? Who would look at people like that? People are people. I'll tell you, it reminds me. I asked the tzaddikas. My wife and I, Bez Hashem, Yehuda. My wife and I, Bez Hashem, are making a chasna, Siyata L'Shmaya, and we're hiring somebody. Girls, look, you'll hear this. Joshua, girls, we need people. We need a makeup artist. I have a daughter, Ted. You need a makeup artist. We were meeting with somebody about the makeups. So the person says, how many faces are we having there? How many faces are we having? I said, we're not doing faces here. We're doing people. We're doing people, no faces. I'm like, I'm very stark. We're not like 6 faces. We're 6 people. 6 human beings. 6 human beings. They're going to have makeup. Makeup's wonderful. Things are wonderful. Looking nice. Things are wonderful. They're 6 human beings. They're human beings. They're people. They're people. It's interesting. I was Zoicher to go to... Yair and I went to a Pesach program. It was... What I loved about it was very fancy. Very. I loved it. It was perfect. Because the Iker was friendship. It's like people are close. People are hanging together. The friendships are the Iker. Then you have things... I like Sulam with all its fanciness because it's never the Iker. The main thing is Sulam is the friendships. Beseder, the fancy nice things, the fancy nice things, that's a backdrop to the Iker is the relationship. Whenever it becomes the thing itself, it's literally stupid. If you go to a wedding, I don't care, the wedding's fancy. When that becomes the thing and takes over the thing, it's the worst wedding. Have a nice singer, as long as he's a backdrop to the thing. So you call a satisfied dog? Who just asked? It's not even nice. Who said that here? Cheka said that's what you call the people who come to him, dogs? This whole thing is weird. Kalba Savua, this man is called satisfied dogs. People come hungry like a dog and they leave satisfied. Then he's called a satisfied dog. What's happening? What is going on? Not nice. Really? There's a bad name of this yid. Chazal, tell us something. What's happening here? It's not what I wanted to learn right now, but I'm not going to. Let's think about this. Yair, I need a pshat. He's called Kalba Savua, the satisfied dog. What's happening here? Let's look up for a second. I want to read the Rashi in Gittin. Bij, could you get me a Masechtas Gittin from the back? Second thing down, Masechtas Gittin. Perfect. You're so sweet. Thank you. Welcome. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Going tomorrow? You're not going to be here?
Listen to a Gemara Gittin, Joshua. It's a Gemara Gittin Daf Nun Vav, page 56 in Gittin Yehuda. Kalba Savua. Why was he called the satisfied dog? See, it says like this: Shekol anichnas lebeisei kshura ev. Whoever walked into his house hungry, kikelev like a dog, yoitzik shusaveya, leaves when he's satisfied. Gemara Gittin Nun Vav. Whoever walked into his house hungry like a dog, left satisfied. So what's his name? Satisfied dog. Are you serious?
Does when a dog's satisfied, does it matter what the dogs eat?
Well, before you say teretz, you're getting to a teretz. I want to hear that. I want to say your kasha. Yair, does it bother you, this man's name? I think that's like crazy. First of all, to talk two simple questions I want to figure out. Rabbi Kiva's father-in-law's name was Satisfied Dog. Why? Because when people came to his house hungry like a dog, they left satisfied. I have two questions. First of all, it's very not nice to call people hungry like dogs. It's not nice. I could think of many better names to call people.
Let's hear.
Hungry. Call them the feet. Hungry people was satisfied. Hungry. You call them dogs?
Why is it not nice to call people hungry as dogs?
It's not a nice way of talking. They're humans. Humans get hungry.
But why can you be hungry as a dog?
It's not a nice thing. We're human beings. We're human beings. It's like a funny. Seems such a right. Rabbi Russ was so struggling that he's called Kalba Savua. Two questions. First of all, it's not nice. People are hungry like dogs. You call them a satisfied dog. Kalba Savua, hungry like a kelev and leaves full. What's happening? And second of all, he wasn't the satisfied dog. The name doesn't sound like Rev Russ, that the satisfier of dogs. It calls him a somebody comes hungry, kelev, he leaves savua. He's not the satisfied dog. The Gemara in Gittin, Kshurav, kelev yoitz kshaveh. He leaves when he's full. So he's called kalba savua. He's not.
Dogs on the people who are coming, or him? Could it be on him?
He got the name. But it says the people came Rav Kekelev, hungry like a dog. And they leave when they're satisfied. So he got the name, Satisfied Dog.
Can't be on him.
Doesn't sound like that.
What did he say?
What do you mean on him? He treated them in a sense?
No, he was such a dog to satisfy them.
He was the dog like that. But it doesn't sound that way. It sounds like they were Rav Kekelev. They were hungry like a dog. I like. He was like a dog the way he said this. But it's saying they were hungry like dogs.
Sounds like it's just like a metaphor. It doesn't sound like they're actually like calling like the dogs.
Rabbi, if I was in his place, I wouldn't think I should be this. I would have
Satisfied dog.
Yeah, I don't
Just something's funny. Something's up here. What do you hold, Yair? Something's up with this. Yehuda, what do you hold? Interesting name, right? Clearly there is. People are hungry like a dog and they left satisfied. It's funny. It's funny. That's it's funny in the compliment. Is that a fact that dogs like hard to satisfy, like they always want more? Is that true? It says they were hungry like a dog. What? That what? What's pshat? They're hard to satisfy? Rav Kekelev. Hungry? Dogs do express. It's funny when it says hungry like a dog. That alone, the expression hungry like a dog, hungry. No, hungry like a dog. Human beings get it. Like, did you eat anything, Josh, when people came hungry like a dog? Hungry. Human being hungry. What's mice if hungry like a dog? Now, dogs are very vocal. They're like a certain type of begging, a certain type. What's this hungry when people come? All of us, the Gemara is adding, when people came hungry, they left satisfied. They came hungry like a dog. What's Maisif?
They have like a feeling that dogs have when dogs are hungry. They're like that hungry. Like they feel like a dog.
Can't handle it. They came like
a certain feeling also.
Ready?
Yeah.
Looked it up. It says in general, like the alpha dog in like a pack wolf, the alpha will eat first, and once he's satisfied, then he allows the others to eat. Maybe if he's a satisfied dog, that's showing that he's giving to others. He's happy with stalek and then he's able to.
So calls him that.
Yeah, because the alpha, it's not an insult to say he's altruistic. He's once the alpha is satisfied, he can share. So he's always satisfied.
One of the things here that I don't know if there's pshat, it doesn't even sound to me the pshat. The Gemara says about a dog, the Gemara in Nedarim says dogs take and don't give. A kelev represents that which takes and doesn't give. Lav kalban, I'm not a dog, I'm not a hunt. A hunt is the shvitz, is the epitome of that which takes and doesn't give. Now, why a dog is that? I've had pet, turtles that take and don't give anything back. A dog, though, even what they give back is very manipulative. They're only giving to get. They're the spitz taker, a dog. A dog is known in Chazal as the taker. Dog is the spitz. Lav kalba. Now, I'm not a dog means I don't just take, I know how to give also. The way to say I'm not just a taker and I give, ich bin nicht kein Hund. I'm not a dog. A dog in Gemara represents that which takes and doesn't give. Is constantly just wants to take, just wants to take. Lav kalban, I'm not a dog, I want to give. I want to provide, I'm not a dog. A kelev represents that which takes not to give. People came hungry like a dog. I wonder if there's an expression, people who weren't in a position to give back to him, and they left satisfied dogs that he wasn't looking to get back. That the way he gave satisfied dogs, that it just expresses he gave people not looking to get back. Now, I don't know if you need that. The norm, you're allowed to give wanting to get back. Shlomo Melech says, Shlach lach b'chal pnei hamayim, give, and you'll get back. You get back from giving. Is that a milah that he satiated dogs? He didn't look to get back? I don't know. I want to be honest, because you're allowed to give to get back. So that's the milah satisfied. He didn't try to get back?
Yeah, you're allowed. It's madrega.
Is there a madrega he gave not to get back? I don't know if there's such a madrega. You're allowed to give and want to get back. What? Yeah, I don't have a teretz that, but it calls him the satisfier of dogs. I'm not answering that. I'm just saying people. It could be he was able to give people not looking to get back. I don't know. Somebody has a pshat. I want to think about it further. I don't know pshat that he's called the satisfied dog. The bottom line is back to the Gemara in Nedarim, is kalba savua, the satisfied dog. Now I do know that his name, his very essence was generous. His name, that's the Gemara in Gittin. His name was generosity. He satisfied people. He, when his daughter married Nama'aret, said, I'm not giving you a penny. Now understand, this wasn't like a fit of rage. Kalba Savua's name was a generous person, but his daughter married a guy who didn't know one word of Torah, and he said, you're not getting a penny from me. If you marry such a person who doesn't know a word of Torah, he was Adrei Anam Mikol Nichsa. He had a basic love of Torah. Torah mattered to Kalba Savua. He wasn't looking for reputation for a big Talmud Chacham. He says later, if I would have known he knew one parak, I wouldn't have done this. The guy didn't know one word of Torah. Rabbi Kiva knew nothing. He said to his daughter, you marry somebody like this who doesn't know a stitch of Torah, you're not getting a penny from me. And his essence is generosity. His very name is Kalba Savua. So he answers his daughter. Ozla v'insvile, she went and married Rabbi Kiva. She defied her father. Such was her belief in this Rabbi Kiva. She ends up marrying him. The Gemara says two things, not here. Gemara Ksubis was Gemara Nedarim Daf Nun. In Ksubis, what did she see in Rabbi Kiva, guys? She married him. She saw two things. Mali, many Rishonim say good midas, and Jashi said snua. He was a tzniastic person. He wasn't a seeker of the attention. He was a tznuah. He had tznius. So he was mali, he had nice midas, and he was tznuah, and she went for him. She married him. Her father was beside himself. She marries him. Bistay in the winter. The Gemara describes in the winter, Havegani Beit Tivna. She's lying on straw. This girl who grew up in the lap of luxury with fancy Tempur-Pedic mattresses, she's lying on straw. Have a kaminka leitivya min mazia. Rabbi Kiva's picking straw out of her hair. First of all, I love this picture of the husband who doesn't have, but he's providing for his wife, Yair. I love that he's picking straw out of her hair. I love the picture of a husband providing for his wife. I want the guys to be husbands. Provide for your wife. Show up and provide. That's what a man means. You provide for her. You take care of her. She's safe by you. I love the picture of Rabbi Kiva, the great teacher of Torah, is picking out straw out of her hair. They're sleeping on straw. And literally, she wakes up in the morning, she has straw in her hair. This girl is a fancy girl, used to luxuries. And in the morning, Havi kaminkatli tivna min mazia. He's pulling straw out of her hair. Amar la, he says to her, Ihavili, if I had, I don't have anything. If I had Remina L'cha Yerushalayim Dedava, I would buy you the richest ornament in the world. She's living in abject poverty, like nothing. And he says, oh, do I wish I could give you the world. I would buy you Yerushalayim Dedava as a very fancy crown ornament. It's like the fanciest tachshet. And he says, if I had the money, I would buy you Yerushalayim Dedava. I like that line a lot. What would the cynic say? David, get cynical with me. If you would be her, get cynical. She grows up. Let's make our own like visual of this. She grows up in like the fanciest palace, like a gorgeous house. Give me a neighbor that has houses like wow, like. Give me a neighbor that has like the nicest houses you ever seen in your life. In the world, not in Waterbury. What? Like a gorgeous house. She grows up in the lap of luxury. He has her living like homeless. They're in a shelter. Now he says to her, oh, if I could afford it, I'd build you a mansion. If I was her, the inner cynic, I would say, could I at least just have a house? Like forget your dreams. Like, just give me a house. Like, it's funny. She doesn't have a mattress. She's on straw. And Rabbi Kiva says, oh, do I wish I could give you Shalayim Dedab. If I was her, I'd be cynic. I would say to him, can I at least have a mattress? Like, forget your big dreams. Yehuda, this Gemara is beautiful. That what he gives in Ratzon is valuable to her. I think the Gemara, every word a Gemara says is saying something. Gemaras are not just like talking. Every word is relevant l'netzach. The Gemara records this story. I think this is what she sees in him. He has big ritzinus. And she's not mivatel his ratzon. I have spoken to younger guys in yeshiva, to parents. A younger kid is struggling, will usually say to his mom, one day, Mom, you'll see. One day you'll see. A kid who's struggling tells his mother, Mom, I'm telling you, one day. The mother who doesn't understand, the parent who doesn't understand, acts cynically. If the parent doesn't understand, like, yeah, I hear you always say this. Or just be normal. The kid's like, Ma, you'll see one day I'm going to be like the biggest tzaddik. The cynical mother rejects what he's saying. The sophisticated mother makes a kiddush. Say that again. It's a big thing. It's interesting. I've gone through stages in my life with Purim. I could tell you today, I like when guys cry, Rebbe, I want to learn. We've all made so much fun, and at different times in my life, I like when the kid cries, Rebbe, I want to learn. Beautiful. It's worth it. Let's get drunk again to say that. Whenever we touch like that Ratzon L'Tov, it's a very big space, that Ratzon L'Tov. They teach Yair, they teach in parenting courses, this Dvarim Pshutim, they teach in parenting courses what you can't give in actuality, give in Ratzon. They word it. I've seen this in parenting courses. A kid says, I wish we could go. My whole class is going to Disney. I wish we can go. The father could say to his kid, I wish I had like this private jet. And I would drive you once a week to Disneyland. There's something very real to that, as long as you really mean it. Dream with the kid. I wish I had a private jet. I wish once a week I could mamish drive you to Disneyland. It's a real thing. Give your kid in dream what you can't necessarily give, but as long as you mean it. Kid says, I heard somebody's going to Eretz Yisrael, crazy vacation. If you don't mean it, don't say anything. If you mean it, say, I wish we had a private jet. I wish once every 2 weeks I could fly you to Eretz Yisrael, mamish. We'd go to a silver schmack. Okay. There's such a thing. Rabbi Kiva says to his wife, if I could afford it, I'd give you the world, and she accepted that. She took that from him. That's a real thing. I love that she wasn't cynical. She took that from him. I suspect that's how she married such a yid. Because there's dreams, and dreams count too. So he says to her, if I could give it to you, Shleim de Dava. And Vaista, she doesn't respond back. Vaista, she accepts it. By the way, later on, Rabbi Kiva becomes rich and buys it for his wife. Later on, he becomes rich and buys it. Reb Miller used to tell people, you get a yeshiva's collecting tzedakah, you get an ad for a yeshiva. Reb Fisher is raising money. He said, sit down and dream. I wish I could build him a building. Reb Miller used to say this. Say, I wish I could mamish build him a new building. Mamish, a beautiful dream that. And like hope for that. He said there's a big value in that. There's a tremendous value. He said then when you become rich, taka buy it for them and build it for them. Rabbi Kiva says, if I could afford it, I'd give you Shleim Dava. Us Elio. The bottom line is they're living in abject poverty. Ari, welcome home.
Thank you.
Do you know Yair Cohn, Ari?
Yes, I do.
Oh, sure. Ezra, you know Yair also? Obviously. So us Elio Anavi comes to Rabbi Kiva and his wife. Idmi lohain ka'ansha. He appears as a man. The kakari abava. He calls on the doorway. Amrlu, and he says, Havu li porta de tivna. Could I have a little straw? The yaldus itzi, my wife gave birth. The lisle medam laguna. I don't even have straw to lie on. We're mamish on the floor. I don't even have straw. Amar la Rabbi Kiva say Rabbi Kiva says to his wife, Chazi Gavra, do you see a man? Dafilu tivna la yisle. I see a man who doesn't even have straw. I thank Hashem what we have. Rabbi Kiva, through this story, Hashem sends Eliyahu Hanavi, and he comes to appreciate what he has. He's sameach b'chelka. He says, you see, there's a man who doesn't even have straw, and thank God I have straw. And he's sameach b'chelka. Amra lei, she says to him, Zil havi beirav, go learn Torah. Now, I want to say full disclosure. There's a separate story. The Gemara quotes that first story. Then the very next words, the Gemara quotes, she says to him, go learn Torah. Now, you could learn these two stories have nothing to do with each other. This man doesn't, I don't believe it. If the Gemara wrote these two stories back to back, then they're connected. I don't believe the Gemara just randomly put two stories back to back. Now, it doesn't say, because he was Sameach B'chelka, she said, go learn. It says a separate, Amrulay, she says to him. But it immediately follows that first story. They're sitting in abject poverty, Yehuda. Their mamish sitting in poverty with nothingness. She's picking straw out of her hair. Eliyahu Hanavi comes as a person who doesn't even have straw. He said, my wife gave birth, I don't even have straw. And Rabbi Kiva says to his wife, Baruch Hashem, we have straw. He's sameach b'chelkai. When he's sameach b'chelkai, Rabbi Kiva's wife says, go learn Torah. She says to him, Amrulay zil havi beirav, go learn Torah. It's interesting, when she saw sameach b'chelkai, she saw that he's happy with what he has. Look, somebody doesn't even have straw, and we have straw. She said, go learn Torah, Rabbi Kiva. Now there has to be, I don't know Pshat. Why is that connection? Why are these two stories connected? This previous story where he says to her, Baruch Hashem, Sameach B'chelkai, thank God we have straw. And then she says, go learn Torah. I do want to express that Rav Wolbe says, the great Rav Wolbe who wrote Ali Shur, he says that the biggest danger in the Beis Medrash is jealousy. The biggest danger in a room like this is jealousy. People look what other people have is the biggest danger in the Beis Medrash. There's a Sefer Priya Aretz, and he says people don't become great is because they're not satisfied what they have. They're not Sameach B'chelkai. Reb Chaim Volozhin, somebody thinks Sameach B'chelkai in Ruchnius is only like a chassidische thing. Reb Chaim Volozhin in Nefesh in Ruach Chaim says the kinyan of Torah is simcha sameach bechelka in ruchnis. Person to be happy when you have in ruchnis. I learned. I got something. I did something. It's interesting when he was sameach bechelka. She said, "Go learn Torah."
Feels good.
If you're happy with what you have, the world of ruchnius is a world that's always shaykh to more. If you're not sameach bechelka in ruchnius, it's deep trouble. Because you could always have more. And if a person's insatiable, it's so interesting because in yeshivas we're taught a lot about a true topic. We're taught about she'ifos, aspirations. Always to be shayif, to want more. And there's such a thing, and we have that in us, that we want more, and that's valuable. But equal to that it's a midah that's considered an akeva midah of sameach bechelkai. Happy with what I have. I'm very, very satisfied. It's good what I have. It's good what I have. I really have. I've been speaking about this prayer of David HaMelech, where David HaMelech says, Tuv tam vadas lamdeinik mitzvaysecha emanti. We could always get more in mitzvahs, but there's also a bechina. I'm happy with what I have. So nice. We learned for an hour. Oh, I wish I could do more. I wish. Say there, but it's interesting. Every single time a person learns, upon exiting the Beis Medrash, you're supposed to say, Moidani, thank you Hashem for what I have. What do you mean you could want more? You ask a guy, how was the Seder? I battled, it wasn't perfect, I didn't understand. It's not the end of a Seder. Baruch Hashem, we learned Torah. Sameach bechelkai. I learned Torah. That's what's supposed to be the process of learning Torah. Baruch Hashem, I learned. The energy that I have something, that I have. When she saw he was sameach bechelkai, she told him to go learn Torah. When she saw he had that midah, that chuna, that possibility of being happy with what he had, she told him go learn Torah. That's the order of things. She said, Zil havi beirav. You have sameach bechelkai. You're shaykh, learn Torah. Learn Torah, you're sameach with what you have. Zil havi beirav, go learn Torah. I want to continue the story of Rabbi Kiva, and we'll continue the story. We'll stop for now this story of Rabbi Kiva. I want to express to the guys, and I'm going to be brief, that there are things going on today, that after reading more about Rabbanim of Shescha and how we viewed Limud HaTorah, is your Torah coming from you. Rabbanim didn't like when people came to learn Torah imitating others. Your Torah, Hashem's talking to you. This Gemara becomes even deeper to me, that Rabbi Kiva was sameach bechelkai. He saw his station, Zil havi beirav, go learn Torah. When you can accept you and come as you, go learn Torah now. I want to express that the yeshiva, big Torah of the yeshiva, is the person comes as themselves. Don't imitate another. Don't play for another. In such a space, you're shaykh to Torah. Now go learn and ask what resonates by you. What's Hashem saying to you? When you have the self and a sameach bechelka, an acceptance of self, zil havi beirav, go learn Torah. Rabbanim who used to ask somebody learning, what's Hashem saying to you? I would start saying Torah. No, not what Hashem says. What did He say to you? What are you hearing in Torah? What message did you hear? What truth did you hear? What was said to you? The way Rabbanim asked the person to learn and to show up to Torah is showing up in your situation, and then the Torah talks to you. Show up in your situation, and the Torah will have what to say to you. When he was sameach bechelka and he accepted and was present to his situation, he said, go learn Torah. That's how you're supposed to learn. That's when Torah is magical, when you show up with you, with what resonates by you, with your situation, When he was Sameach B'chelkai, precisely then, she said, Zil Havi Beirav, go learn Torah. As a person who accepts and is present to their situation, Zil Havi Beirav, go learn Torah. We'll continue. Thank you, Heaven.
Thank you.
Let's dive in Mincha. Thank you, Rachel. Yes.
Yeah.